Is this a good idea for a romantic comedy? A lady falls in love with her crazy billionaire husband's blood boy.
Yes.
She's married to the billionaire, but she's in love with the blood boy. And it's something about the blood boy.
And she gets more turned on by the billionaire when he's more full of the blood boy's blood.
Yes, she's thinking, actually, he's technically like half him. Yeah, I need a show title and an idea and some jokes. About an hour's worth. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah. Leave that in the comments.
I think we're
The top upvoted comment will be my title.
You could do like a really lazy. You could do like a really, really, really lazy Edinburgh show and just be like, I just
phoning it in and the poster.
Very good. Very good.
That'd be good, and then you do it actually by phone. Like there's just an answering machine on stage playing, and you're just like, my mother-in-law, she's pretty annoying.
Ugh, my mother-in-law she's eating airplane food.
There's a lot. All she eats is airplane food.
She's so skinny.
And she's like Jerry
so long
Seinfeld's
to
been
get
hit in
ready.
the head.
My mother-in-law takes so long to get ready, for our airplane food dinners.
For my romantic dinners, I'm taking my mother-in-law too.
Where we eat airplane food.
You ever seen these cyclists they have now?
And they can never decide between chicken or pasta. Ken mothers-in-law. They hate it.
Yeah, this is good.
And don't even get me started on the vegans. Let's go.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You know how a mother-in-law will tell you she's vegan.
Yeah,
Often.
I do actually have an airplane food beef.
My God, a comedian with a problem with airplane
Beef
food.
or chicken?
That's right. Well, a beef or chicken would be fine. My problem with airplane food is when they have one option which everyone is obviously going to order, and one option which is completely insane, and obviously no one's going to order it, and then they get to you and then like, oh, we've run out of the inoffensive chicken meal. All we have left is the mackerel terrine. And it's like, well, it's not surprising that you've got that fucking left, is it? Why was that one of the options? No one's like, no, I demand mackerel terrine.
We've run out of sirloin steak, but we have snot sandwiches.
You need to fly on more like flag carriers from the Middle East or Asia because those always rock.
This has happened to me on Emirates, where they're like, we've only got the insane thing left, and I'm like, why was there an insane thing?
Probably because someone.
This isn't Aeroflot.
because someone's cousin was like, I love Nutriloaf, and we're gonna serve it, and because the Emirates is like a cousinocracy, they had to do it.
A cousinocracy.
A cousinocracy. That's a podcast name.
Cousinocracy. It could be. Hey, that could be a title.
Cousinocracy.
Yeah, because you could talk about
Well,
like.
because what is the UK if not a cousinocracy?
That also is true.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think maybe like a hit piece on the royals, but from the incest angle exclusively.
And only.
And only that.
I like everything else
fine.
about them.
I want my royals with a better genetic code base.
William went bald too young. He looks weird.
Yeah.
We're going to use CRISPR to edit the royal baby. It's the right choice for the nation. A 7-foot-tall child that never goes bald.
We're going to give him the black carapace and the Larraman's organ. We're going to create a space marine.
That's it.
Yeah, we're going to build the only child that can defeat an XL bully in single combat.
We're going to get that billionaire's blood son on the case.
Get the blood boy.
Yeah.
Get the Blood Boy, another good title for a show.
Get the blood
Get
boy.
the blood boy.
Yeah.
Get the Blood Boy. I think.
I don't. Look, you just come on looking pale with like a drip.
Is this a good idea for a romantic comedy? A lady falls in love with her crazy billionaire husband's blood boy. She's married to the billionaire, but she's in love with the blood boy. And it's something about the blood boy.
And she gets more turned on by the billionaire when he's more full of the blood boy's blood.
Yes, she's thinking, actually, he's technically like half him now.
That erection's mostly full of boy.
You're describing sort of, kind of 50% of an actual real Korean movie that exists.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a movie that I've been unable to remember. That it was described to me once. I've been unable to remember the title for years. It drives me mad every
Please
few
leave it in the
months.
comments.
But there's a Korean movie, and it's not Parasite. It's older than Parasite.
There's other movies other than Parasite.
But it's similar because it's about people, like two people sort of living in a house and intertwining with one another's lives sort of secretly. It's about a man and a woman who are married. That could also be a good title. A man and a woman being married in these woke times.
Yeah.
No, so it's a man and a woman who are married. And then the woman is having an affair with a man
A Time for Love?
who's also living in the house, but who's always like hiding, like just out of the view of the husband. So like when she's hugging the husband, she's actually hugging the lover, who's like snuck in behind and he doesn't see.
That's fucking mad.
Yeah.
So like
I'm kind of into that.
So the constantly present, but
Hulk's like, and how does she get away with this? Like, she's getting out a notepad.
So she's cucking the husband, but he doesn't know he's being cucked.
No idea.
the constantly present but eternally hidden man
Yes.
is
He's like,
there, like a ghost or like a sleep demon.
yes. And he like lives in cupboards and crawls through the air vents and stuff.
That's kind of what Toy Story is, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But
Yeah.
if like the
Korean
mom,
Toy Story.
if Andy's mom
Toy
was
Story.
fucking Woody.
Was it Toy Story?
Yeah.
Korean,
Yeah, it was Toy Story.
Toy Story, the Korean dub.
Yeah, it was the
They had to make it appeal to a Korean audience.
We
Yeah.
need to make this even weirder.
We're gonna look. Woody is in a relationship with the mother now.
There's something
Yes.
very specific about a lot of like Korean media as different from other East Asian media. Like you watch like a Chinese film or a Japanese film and it has most of the base similarities of like a
No, it
Western
doesn't.
film.
No,
in a lot
it
of ways.
doesn't at
No, but they
all.
make like actual, but like you watch a Korean film and it's like, it's extremely specific. Like, well, you know, when you have a guy living in your house that you've never met and you're like, what?
Yeah, I think they do have their own.
Like the
vibe.
opening premise is so like.
I guess they're oh God,
It's a
sorry.
bit like France. Like they will have these similarly weird opening
The
premises.
pre-stalked
Yeah.
sort of scene, like we know the car chase, we know the college party. For them,
Yeah.
it's like the guy who lives in your house and you don't know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's actually the first movie I've made without a man in the house that they don't know is there. We're going, without one. Like,
Yeah.
like the
Korean
on, like,
film
the PR
critics being like,
circuit
oh,
for
the old
movie.
cliches, the guy living in the house that you can't see.
Boy meets
Yeah.
girl,
Yeah.
girl
It's
like
meets boy who lives in the house but the other boy can't see.
It's like Korean Joseph Campbell. It's like, well, we all know the hero's journey. It's where you're kept in a cell living alone for 9 years.
Yeah.
And then you break out by punching the wall, and then you have a hallway fight.
And then you get your revenge via the medium of
Yeah.
dumpling tasting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just basically the same story. Man, there's three base stories: man versus man, man versus nature, and man versus God. And there's a fourth one which is Korean.
Yes.
Shot for shot remake of Old Boy, but it's Blood Boy, and it's about the Blood Boy taking his revenge. on the
Okay, do you
billionaire.
think Peter Thiel's, I keep thinking about this, Peter Thiel's doping Olympics are going to have like roaming blood boys? Like ball boys?
With like little hats.
Well, like the refreshment station at the marathon.
It's just like, with a little needle you can just stick in your arm of
Yeah.
fresh blood.
People
No,
stand-
just drinking a bottle of blood, pouring it over your head as you run along.
People standing up in the stands. One, please.
Oh, and
I
if
just-
you're,
throwing it up.
you're pouring lots of blood over yourself. You're like, can I have that with a side of a tiny amount of cyanide? I'd like to build up an immunity.
Mithridates goes to the Olympics.
That is a reference and a half. That is great.
Yeah, going back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the sort of reference that people, our enemies, would accuse us of enjoying.
Yeah, Pierre and I were having a conversation earlier, and Olga came in and said, if someone was doing a parody of the sort of conversation you two would have, this would be it.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
And then we pointed out that no one who would want to do a parody of our conversation would have this level of niche knowledge about Viking trade routes.
we're immune to the
Oh, the Volga.
exactly.
Yeah, that the Vikings were the original.
Great vehicle, unsurprising, the Vikings were so keen on it.
But
I heard a long speech about that recently.
a long
You
speech.
talking Volga the car or Volga the river?
The river.
Okay.
You had a long speech about it.
Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Well, I was going to say we're immune to that kind of direct parody because anyone who's interested enough in that stuff to learn these things is one of us.
It's
Yeah.
a kind of social judo.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a good show title.
It's a kind of
So
social
it's like,
judo.
yeah, it's mutually assured destruction, like seeing your boss at a sex party.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
yeah.
In fact,
It's
this-
like I'm gonna learn all of quantum physics to make fun of these nerds, and it's like, well, I've got bad news. You have become a nerd in the doing.
this actually goes back to something we were talking about before the show, which is a great show poster, which is very confusing, but makes sense if it's this, which is the caution tape over one eye,
Yeah,
like Odin.
Yeah, like
You know,
Odin.
I gave up my eye to political correctness to be able to see further with my
Yeah.
other.
Depth perception is unwoke.
That's right.
Or maybe depth perception is woke, and that's why he's
that's
covering
what we're
his
going to
eye.
figure out in Pierre's show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whether or not it
He's-
is woke
He's
to
going to decide.
whether or not it's woke to be able to gauge the distance objects are from me
Yeah, yeah.
and their speed
You
of
replace
travel.
the eye with a red pill.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
like a Terminator.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe we get you like a special lens that.
People say,
Sells
"Why
it
did you
more.
put the pill in your eye?" And they say, "Shut up."
What are you,
Shut
woke?
up.
I've been sent back from the future where there are too many genders. Come with me if you want to be straight.
He's been sent back because he's the cissest man.
Yeah, he's a
Schwarzenegger.
robot.
He's so man. They've had to make a manly man because there aren't any anymore.
Okay.
That
Like,
works.
he wasn't supposed to be Austrian, but just in the process of making the most cis man imaginable, it just turned out Austrian.
So what we're basically saying, what we're doing now is we're no longer coming up with a show for Pierre to do.
No.
We're coming up with one of those we've semi-improvised Terminator musicals, but done by some mad right-wing culture warriors.
I like that.
Uh-huh.
I'm in.
We improvised Terminator. It
Yeah.
Are
could
there
be
any
called.
right-wing improv troops?
Okay, well, we got to brainstorm the name.
Right-wing musical theater is very fun. like the producers, but there's no irony in it. It's
Because
just
all the right wingers who should be doing musical theater are all out running think tanks,
Yep.
where they're trying to like run from that element of their lives.
yeah.
You know, we need to free them.
Being able to sing a little song about what they're doing today could have saved them.
Mhm.
Now they have to work at like the Institute for Ideas or whatever. But if they're just gone,
Yeah.
today's a very special day, it
But
could
they
have all
want to be
turned out
doing
differently.
Patter songs. They want to
Yeah.
be doing Gilbert and Sullivan.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is Phantom of the Opera technically a Korean
Yeah, that's
Korean
true.
plotline?
According to our metrics, definitely.
It's one of the fourth types of story.
Yeah.
Everyone's convinced he's a ghost, and he's like, "I'm just Korean. I don't understand why you're so racist. What is going on?"
I'm just not the guy you thought would learn to play the organ under this theater. That's all.
Yeah.
You need to open your mind.
A bunch
All of
of
us down here are Korean.
19th century opera guys who are so racist they can't conceive of a Korean man being
Must
able
be
to
a
play
ghost.
the piano. Yeah, it must be. It
Must be some sort of spectre. No?
Well, we've ruled out every other possible option.
All right, call Lloyd Webber.
So he's right-wing musical theater.
There we
There
go.
we
Andrew
go.
Lloyd Webber is a really super right-wing dude.
Yes,
but
he is.
it also like the owner of Ministry of Sound, super right-wing guy.
Eh?
Yeah, he's Lord Palumbo.
No,
Of
that's not a
Southwark.
real name.
That's not a real
And no,
name.
he was like panicky about like
That's a
Palestine.
sarcastic
I'm
insult
not,
name.
This is not recent news. This happened a
Serbian
few.
Columbo.
This happened a few
It's
months
like we've
ago
done a
from the date
rip-off.
of recording, and so it will have been about 6 months ago from the time you hear it. But he was one of these people who was like, I'm not safe to like look out of my window. I get assassinated every day by like mean tweets.
Well, there you go, because Ministry of Sound actually doesn't have any windows.
Yeah.
For that reason. I think, so I last week was at a country music concert by an artist called Tyler Childers. Love him. But he's like folksy singer-songwriter country that's like bluegrass. And then you see him and he's like talking about how he loves, and then at some point he was jamming to the point where it was like almost Grateful Dead Fish area.
Okay.
And then you realize that hippies and country musicians meet together in the middle, whether it's libertarianism. Because
Yes. Yes.
the hippies want weed and the countrymen want guns.
Yes,
But
yes.
together they're politically completely aligned.
I was trying to explain this to someone the other day who's so British that libertarianism it just doesn't exist in their head. They just can't grasp it. And you go, no, because like hippies, they want weed. And they go, right, so they're like left wing. And you go,
No.
no, it's about leave me alone.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want on my farm.
Yeah.
That's just imagine that. And-
Yeah.
But there's
I
not
can
enough-
have dreadlocks and no one can stop me. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You could have that on your fringe poster. You could have dreads.
Dreads.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
It's really
No.
it's just really confusing.
African comedian.
No.
Oh, really lean
No.
into that.
No.
Get a
No,
lot
we're
of
not leaning
articles.
into that
That's,
one.
that's, a,
coverage.
that's a dark path. That's a
Uh-huh.
very dark path.
No,
to
if
go
I
down.
wanted to go down that path, I could have done it already.
Yeah.
Make more
Look,
money.
I'm doing my provocative hour this year. We
Are you?
can't
What's
both.
your provocative hour?
Olga Koch comes from money.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's
Okay.
time. It's time.
What about
So,
Olga Koch comes for money?
That's how I'm gonna get the people in. That's how I'm getting them in.
You gotta pay. Isn't it? You had a question for us.
I do have a question for you. Okay, so oh my god, it's getting so warm. I'm gonna take my shirt off. Sorry, my sweater off, because I think this is the perfect visual for all my. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Why am I suddenly attracted to Olga?
The show poster.
okay, we ready? All right. So, my question is:
hmm
you are at a bar
Sure.
and someone approaches you
Okay.
and says, "Hey, I'm happily married with my partner. We are exclusive, but we do, as many couples do, have a hall pass list. And you just so happen to be on that hall pass list. Would you like to get a drink?"
Do I know this person from before?
So basically, my question is, if you are on someone's hall pass list, how would you would you engage and become someone's hall pass? Would you like to be told after the fact if you do hook up? Would you like to be told immediately? Would you like to be like maybe asked out on a date or a drink and then halfway through the first date they're like, by the way, this is a hall pass thing? Would you engage in that scenario in any way?
Sounds like it could lead to a Korean situation.
Korean situation.
Sounds like it could lead to a...
Something a very old man would call the Korean War.
Yeah.
The Korean situation.
Yes, and all
Dreadful
aristocrats.
business to the 38th
Well,
parallel.
presumably in this hypothetical scenario, we're all single.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not cheating on anybody
I would rather be told.
right away.
Yeah, because then you know what it is.
You're my hall pass. Let's go.
Can I live
guess
in your
so.
house secretly?
Yeah. You're my hall pass, by which I mean you can live in my hall.
yeah.
You have a pass to live in my
You
hall.
have a pass to live in my hall and have sex with me the second my husband looks away
Yeah.
in a kind of ghost-like
For
way. I
an
hope that's
indeterminate
interesting.
amount of time. Because it depends when he looks back.
But hall passes, I'm assuming, are like one night. You can't like, I'm going to go have a relationship with
My
this
I'm
guy.
gonna
live-
10-year hall pass. I'm on something more of a hall sabbatical.
Yeah.
I've got a whole family. I've got a whole house and then a different whole town.
This is like that tweet about
Oh,
playing...
she's not my other wife. She's my hall pass.
Oh, this is my whole wife.
Yeah. It was like that tweet about playing gay chicken with your friend and then just like ending up married for like 40 years and then
Yeah.
he's on his deathbed and says, I love you, and then you just whisper gay and that's the last thing he ever hears.
So, yeah,
That's another Korean trope. Yeah.
you'd want to know straight away because what if... Because it would be weird if you were then on a date with someone and you thought it was like a normal date, and they were
A
like,
hall date.
not only am I actually married, it's not even that I'm looking for an affair. It's slightly more like
I'm fully using you.
it's this one other thing, and also I've heard of you, and I heard of you so much that I put you on my list.
That's the other element, right? If they don't know you already, it's like, well, what have you been rifling through the bins? How have you come to this decision?
No, huge Trash Future fan.
This guy pays his council tax.
Yeah, someone.
All right.
Oh
this
my
is
God.
the kind of man I need.
There is not a single bottle in this recycling bin. The green bin is spotless.
Reading a fucking British gas bill and going, this guy fucks. he's got the boiler service cover.
Well, I guess the only question is if they tell you right away, then you like can't even tell if you vibe or anything because it's automatically such an artificial situation,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So you can't like
Because
see
they're
if you
going in
vibe.
there with expectations. They're launching in there being like, hey, by the way, this is a sex interaction.
But you know that they're a fan of yours.
Yeah.
That's 50% of the vibe is established. It's
Yeah,
only
yeah,
up to
yeah.
you whether or not
Whether you're vibing.
whether you're vibing.
Yeah, you could even sort of take it one step further. You can be like, so what do you like about me?
Yeah.
What's your
Oh.
favorite thing?
I would want to
Yeah.
know the list.
And where you rank on that list?
But also if they were like, yeah, you're on my whole pass list. If they ever release the following killers, they are on the, and if it's all like really like awful,
Yeah.
hideous people, then you
Yeah,
go,
Lawrence
oh, well,
Fox.
no, then.
Yeah, or what if it's like,
Yeah,
oh
I
yeah, well,
love having sex with people who I think are awful and stupid. And no.
Or wouldn't it be even worse though if they were like, yeah, of course, my hall pass list is you. It's Phil Wang. It's like Milo.
Yeah.
It's James A. Castor.
It's all people that you're aware
So
of.
that you know.
Would that be?
Oh no, that's too close to something
wanna
that would
be-
actually
and-
happen.
yeah, no. If someone comes up to you and says like, yeah, the entire Trash Future extended universe is on my hall pass list.
I've definitely met stand-up comedians who are in a relationship with a woman who would have gotten into a relationship with any one of their closest stand-up comedian friends had the opportunity arisen.
In
I don't
addition,
feel like I shouldn't be insulted so openly.
I mean, I was definitely talking about a man, but
Public space. I don't know.
do you think Ewan had eyes for me?
No, I was thinking more that I would probably have dated the friends of the comedians that I've dated. It's
oh, I
pretty
see.
transparent.
You were reading it from the other side, right?
Yeah, I was still
Interesting.
the woman in that situation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that puts you in a position of power in a way.
yeah,
Where I choose which
Yeah.
dweeb I fuck.
Yeah.
yes.
Mm.
Look, and we all know the choices I've made.
What if it was like it was all comedians, which is one thing where you go, okay,
Right.
this is a thing.
Yeah.
What if the other four were people where you're like, oh, I don't think they're very good.
He's pretty
I
pedestrian.
don't like their shows.
Yeah.
oh, why am I on that list? Then you start getting annoyed at them. And they go, no, because I like, that's my type. You go, no, I'm not in that. No.
And then it's backhanded. It's like, no, the guys with the most pedestrian observations have the best dick.
Yeah.
They fuck the best.
Yeah.
The Stuart Lee highfalutin types, they don't eat pussy. I'm not interested in that.
It's
I want a guy with mother-in-law stories.
kind of people who only stag do's like.
Yeah,
really awful, like run-of-the-mill Friday night bullshit.
Yeah, with a finger as big as a dick. But
Well, like Prince Charles.
Right, sorry.
Or King Charles now.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Come
I
on.
didn't want to
Have some
name
respect.
the king.
No, King Dick Fingers.
King Dick Fingers.
Show King Dick Fingers some respect.
Dick Fingers is a Minnesota congressman.
Yeah, Dick Fingers.
This is why we need to go back to the Space Marine Royals program. We won't have embarrassingly fingered kings.
No, I want
it's
the
like in
fingers even
everything,
bigger.
Yeah.
everything everywhere all at once. Remember the Jamie Lee Curtis with the big fingers?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
literally King Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's
Just
why. That's why he needs servants.
Well, that's the next season of The Crown. He's going to be played by Jamie Lee Curtis.
What if you were the least famous person on the list?
Is that a?
What if like they're the least prominent? It's a list of 5 comedians, and it's like all of these people are like not like it's not like me and then Stuart Lee and then other. It's like everyone's just a bit above, like doing a bit. Like you know what it is? There's it's Ahir. I couldn't get Ahir, and so I came to you.
Oh, so like if it's still your role conceivable, as opposed to like the other 4 out of the 5 are like A-list Hollywood.
Yeah, it was. I wanted Kevin Hart. I wanted Kevin James. I wanted
The shorts. It was the shorts.
They're all called Kevin.
Yeah. You're
Everyone
the
else
only
on the
one.
list
The
is
only
called
non-Kevin.
and you go,
Yeah.
what's that
You look
about?
like a Kevin. So
Do you think?
No,
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you look like a Pierre either. But
No.
No.
What do I look like? I don't know.
what do you like about me?
And I think I look like my name is Andrew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And you go by Andrew.
This is the
Andrew's not
roast
going to cut it.
yourself portion of the podcast.
Yeah. I look like my name is. I've always looked like my name is Andrew. Not
That is
Pierre.
true. Yeah. There's a show title. My name is Andrew.
Yeah.
My name should be Andrew.
Yeah.
very conceptual.
People are going, so?
Yeah.
You can change it's not coming
What's the
in.
40-minute mark? The fact that your name's Pierre?
It's not Andrew! It's not Andrew! They're really breaking down.
It's the
Yeah.
you could change it so easily. That's the other to make a whole
Yeah.
thing of it's this. It's
Yeah.
like it's a letter. You
It's a
send
problem
a
I
letter.
could solve whenever I want
Yeah.
it.
So easy.
Yeah, your outward appearance and your vibe are like very at odds with each other. Like
Yes.
you look like you could be the son of like a red state senator.
Yes, yeah.
Like you being like you're driving a
Fingers.
truck. You're wearing like full camouflage. You've got a
Fingers
rifle over
Jr.
one shoulder.
Dick
Yeah,
Fingers
yeah,
Jr.
yeah.
Big
Exactly.
Fingers Jr.
Yeah. And then in reality, you're like, I know a lot about Viking trade routes
Yeah.
through the Middle
I
East.
hope you guys like interminable books. Because I do. That is the vibe, yeah. Where I look like I got into the best university in Tennessee because of my dad. And then I was expelled under circumstances that
You were
remain
like a tight
unclear.
end or something. That is
yeah.
that is the extent of my American football knowledge,
Good.
and I won't
It's a
learn
good
anymore.
name.
That sounds like you know a little bit about American football, Milo. What's your favorite American football
Tight
team
ends
as a
3
British
is a gay
person?
porno.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's about football.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But they're all fucking.
What,
Yeah,
but what do we? Let's gender flip this though, because it's weirder. Is it weirder to be on a whole pass list if you're a lady?
I think I'd engage with it more if it was a woman. I'd engage with it less if it was a man. I also would have.
With a man, you're like, is he lying?
Well, yeah, it's. And then I also just think I would have questions about how did you come up with that list, and did you put people who are kind of attainable on it?
Yeah, did
'cause I'm not-
you
like, I'm-
annoy your partner
Yeah.
by just listing 4 colleagues
like-
and me?
like-
You're just
Her
going on
sister.
Dice and seeing like what's within.
Who's in?
Who had the cheapest tickets?
Who's in Milton Keynes that night? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go see Olga. Olga Koch. I'm gonna go see Olga Koch.
touring
And
production
You'll
of-
see.
SpongeBob the musical. Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck Squidward.
Squidward's on my whole pass list.
Not even
There's a
having
funny
the
t-shirt.
self-esteem to put SpongeBob on it.
No.
You got to keep the costume
No,
on.
Squidward would work for it.
That's
Yeah.
part of it.
He's got tentacles.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! Which brings me to the Korean film Handmaiden. That's a
Squidward is my hall pass is a good t-shirt.
Yeah, and a good Edinburgh show title. My girlfriend has agreed that I can fuck Squidward.
If Squidward is real in any way,
Yeah, but
So-
she wants a threesome. She doesn't want to miss out.
So
yeah.
my hall pass is like Taylor Swift. Who's another hot woman?
For you, the
one.
default hot woman is Taylor Swift.
I hear about Taylor Swift a lot because my
another-
girlfriend
Anna
really likes
Darmus,
Taylor Swift.
Sydney Sweeney,
Those are-
Beyonce.
there we go. Those are my hall
Okay.
pass.
Anna
And then my
Darmus,
par-
a great take.
and then-
Love that.
and then my-
yeah.
Classically
And then-
hot woman.
Yeah.
And then you say my partner's hall pass is her yoga teacher, her boss, Squidward.
Yeah.
I can't believe I really-
Pierre Novelli.
I can't believe I undermined myself so much by trying to think of some famous, beautiful women and came up with nothing.
You also you accidentally did like that Lee and Herring joke where it's like all the beautiful women, Taylor Swift, all of them, just completely abandoning the list.
That is the woman
Who's a
I
famous,
hear.
beautiful
That's the
woman?
famous
Chris
woman.
Hemsworth.
This is the
He's
famous
beautiful.
woman I
You've
hear
never
about
sounded
the most.
gayer. The only thing gayer would be like Barbara Streisand.
Yeah,
Also
Liza
the fact-
Minnelli, all the hottest. Madonna in the 80s, Lady Gaga. These are the list.
Also, the fact the only woman you could name was Taylor Swift is amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guy trying to be manly nervously around jocks
Yeah.
and saying the 5 gayest women.
Oh, we'd all have to fuck Dolly Parton, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Oh,
That's not wrong.
just like 5,
Isn't Dolly Parton famously very beautiful?
I guess.
She's like 80.
I don't think she was really. I don't think. Allow me to be clear. I don't think she's a bad-looking woman, but I don't think she was really famous for her looks, particularly either.
For her look.
She's a very hard-working and talented woman. Let's not do Dolly Parton down. But
8 hours a day.
yeah, famously, yeah.
Doing what?
No way to make a living.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Doing what?
Singing mostly, probably songwriting.
I guess, yeah.
Imagine guitar.
Trying on denim.
Yeah.
Denims, fringes and sparkles, things of that nature.
No, she worked at Foxton's. That was how she funded the music career.
That's what
She had a Mini Cooper.
or how Liberace famously would always drive on stage in a
You're
bejeweled Foxton's car.
That's right.
But surely, just returning to this scenario.
Yes.
Surely the
Using
only
it as a
good
study,
option.
but you could get a piano in here, maybe
Yeah.
a candelabra. It's like a real estate agent who clearly has another career
Yeah.
and is unable to switch off.
Yeah, this drawer could be filled with rhinestones.
Yeah. You could get any number of bejeweled jackets in this wardrobe.
Yeah, nice space in the other doorway here for a lot of boots,
Yeah.
cowboy boots, whatever you wear.
Yeah, a big enough door to drive your car from room to room.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can really make an appearance in the kitchen.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry, you were going back to something.
But
My goodness.
Surely the scenario, the whole pass thing, it's always better for it to be up front, right? Is there a scenario in which it is better to find out halfway through what you thought was a normal date?
Well,
Would it
only to
undermine-
check if there's a vibe. So I wouldn't
Okay.
want to know after the sex or even right before the sex. I'd want to know maybe
As
like
you're about to come.
yeah. That's
By
the
the
only way
way.
I can come.
You have to be in the uncertainty, and then in the moment where the waveform collapses, and you find, yes, this is a hall pass situation.
I'd say 30 to 45 minutes in.
By the way, this
Okay.
is something we've implicitly agreed upon, but may well destroy our relationship. Come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Jeopardy.
Yes.
That's the thing that gets me going.
Yeah. You've made me come for 200. Would you like to try 300?
Okay, Molly, you haven't answered. What's your?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess before, because if you're getting into anything potentially a bit weird, it's better to, because I feel like you're gonna, in the process of them explaining to you that they're doing this and why they're doing it, you'll be able to gauge how weird a situation it is. Like
Yeah.
if they're being very normal about it, then you can be like, oh, this seems like it probably won't be an incident that will haunt me for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Yeah, and if they don't say things like just while my husband's guarding that oil rig, and then go,
Yeah.
go,
Like,
this seems bad. Actually,
People who are crazy tend to give themselves away. I think
true.
this is what I always found fascinating when like female friends of mine would like show me stuff men said to them on dating apps, and I was just like, but your only job as a man is to just be normal. Like you just have to be normal for like. Don't try and get too clever with it. Most women are like, "Is this man dangerous?"
Yeah.
That's the first thing you have to prove is that you're not dangerous. So why are you going in with a crazy gambit off the gate? Like it's just like you're missing the first filter, like the lowest hurdle of is this man mental?
I'm going to
Yeah.
start the job interview pretending to be drunk. And then I'll suddenly snap out of it like
It's
Willy
like-
Wonka.
It's like, I'm going to pretend to be the boss and I'm going to interview him.
Yeah.
He'll like that. It shows initiative. It shows I'm ambitious.
Be confident.
People who
Yeah.
give job interviews love the joke The Aristocrats, so I'm going to start with that.
Some flashbacks to that. Okay, but you would want to see the list. Would you want to see the list?
I would have questions, yeah.
I
I
want
would
to see
love
the
to see
list
the
because I'd
list.
like to understand what kind of a list they like. Is this a list of like, it's, Riley and the 4 runners up at the Ugly Man of the Year contest? Like, is this a form of like self harm?
Runners up. What about the winner?
Not the winner.
No, we couldn't get him. He's
be
got a
reasonable.
sponsorship
She has
deal.
realistic expectations.
He's booked back to back doing before photos for Turkish plastic surgery clinics.
He's a before model.
The before and after, it's clearly just a completely different guy. It's like fucking Die Another Day. We're
Yeah.
back to Die Another Day again.
Yeah, another Korean.
Okay, last question about this.
Uh-huh.
Would it make you potentially, if you were like maybe about a person, would you be more likely or less likely to say yes once you found out that that's the scenario, just for the story?
Well, I suppose you're no longer considering them as a prospect for anything other than this mad situation, right?
Right.
So it removes some requirements in that sense where you don't think
Does
like,
it add a nobility to what you're doing?
a charity.
Yeah, sort of like a Make-A-Wish situation.
Yeah, is that the situation?
Yeah. To each according to their need, from each according to their penis. Yes. I think there was another.
You're on my Make-A-Wish list. Oh, I'm sorry, but cool, thank you. But also, who's on the list? How did this happen?
What if this
a lot
woman
to
had
say to
leukemia?
someone in
Would
one
you-
moment in a bar. Fucking hell. I'm dying. Want to bang? I've planned this. I'm married. What? What?
This is actually like Macmillan off of this now.
So much
Then
information.
it makes the hall pass less horny and more sort of like noble and sort of cathartic.
Yeah.
I think I'd be even more likely if it's a Make-A-Wish hall pass.
Yes, and you could do it in a way that would be sort of represented in a montage and golden hour style
Yeah,
filming.
yeah.
Da-da-da-da, with sort of
Yeah.
the
I would like rock
curtains
your world.
blowing.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that? That's the sound of a couple dozen men shaving their heads because they had a plan.
Skull Shaver is getting a lot of orders right now. Men on the tube are scanning that QR code on their phone. Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah.
What a grift.
I've fallen to it for too many times.
Well, my girlfriend actually told me this story. So, my girlfriend is from this town called Chesham in Buckinghamshire, which I am fascinated because I'm also from the home counties. I feel like most places in the home counties are broadly the same. That's generally I'm from Essex. People malign Essex, but you go to Hertfordshire, it's the same.
Yeah.
But then Chesham is like, what if Essex was the League of Gentlemen? Like everything that's going on in that town is bizarre. And so recently, this was like 2 days ago, we're in the car and her mum is phoning her up, but Annabelle's phone is connected to the Bluetooth in my car. So I'm getting all of this on speakerphone. And her mum is complaining that this garage run by a man called Carlos has ripped her off for a car service. So now I'm joining in. I'm like, that does sound a lot for an ancient Skoda Fabia. I don't think, well, let's get an itemized breakdown. And then Annabelle goes, wait, wasn't that guy supposed to have died of a brain tumor? And then she was like, oh, no, yeah, he's in remission. Well, because he went mental and he spent all of his money when he found out he was going to die of the brain tumor, but then he didn't die, so now he's fat. And then I was like, right, I see. And then she's like, well, anyway, it's just very bad karma, all this business with the car service. And I was like, well, he's already had the brain tumor. She's like, oh, no, that's still there. That's still cooking away. That could go at any time.
Cooking? Then he was right to spend his money.
Every story from this town is like this.
Oh my god.
Cooking.
Well, wasn't there was the funeral fight as well? Wasn't there was a funeral fight that you told me about?
Oh, yeah,
You said that
there
on
were
the
a
show.
few. There was, I don't know, we were at a funeral and
You
there was
might have done.
there was a man in his 60s who was so drunk that he tried to challenge my girlfriend's younger brother to a fight.
Sure.
Because he like stepped on his foot by accident. I was like, oh, sorry, mate. And he said, yeah, fucking fight. Then he was like,
Yeah, it has
no.
to be made clear. This is at a funeral.
Yeah, this is at the wake, yeah.
Yeah.
And then her brother comes outside, we're having a cigarette. And he's like, yeah, this is fucking weird. This guy who's like 60s just tried to start a fight with me whilst like too drunk to stand. And then I was like, right. And I walked back in and the guy's still outside the toilets, but he's now asleep, standing up with his forehead against a wall.
Whoa.
Like a droid that's just been turned off.
God. Old
Yeah.
pass, Olga? Does that sound like a cool guy?
Well, he was in the hall. Korean movie where this guy lives in your house.
A drunk man is asleep in your house, but only you can see him.
Yeah. The seventh sense. I see drunk people.
I see the little man my wife has sex with when she thinks I'm not looking.
Yeah.
That's just sight. That's just one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the guy, the funeral fight man.
Yeah.
Right. It's sort of, but this is like they're also. I've heard so many similar things about this place that I've never been to.
Yeah.
It baffles me that it is real. Really.
Cheshire.
Yeah. It sounds like the fightiest place in the country.
Oh no, I've been to Stoke-on-Trent and it would beg to differ, but I once saw a man on a Sunday afternoon at about 5 p.m. get knocked spark out outside a pub in Stoke-on-Trent. I'm like, it's not the time of day for that, surely. How have you gotten to the punch-up stage this early?
What's the earliest you've seen people extremely drunk on the street in the United Kingdom?
Oh, I mean...
Wait, hang on. Are we counting...
Like the World
Cup? Are we counting, like, grim Hindus walking through Soho on a rainy morning?
But are they already drunk?
Yes.
I guess so.
Are we counting night before running
No.
through?
Okay.
No. I need someone to have woken up and deliberately gone, let's get this started.
8 a.m.
Where?
On
the
street.
rise and grind drinkers.
Yeah.
The guys who listen to the High Performance podcast.
Yeah,
You've got to
that's
start drinking at 6 a.m.
I wake up, my morning starts at 3.
This is true.
I wake up at 3.
He's been up.
Yeah.
The type of what you're talking about is like the morning coffee is Irish, basically, for this guy.
On the Weatherspoons, you see people having their Guinness with their fry-ups and stuff at like 8 or 9 a.m.
In airports, you see.
Airports.
We're going back to airports. I don't want to go back to airports.
Not in airport Weatherspoons.
Uh-huh.
High Street, you see them at it.
Oh, yeah.
The only place to start drinking before like 2 p.m. when pubs opened in a normal way on the Isle of Man for a while was the ferry terminal bar.
Oh, shit.
And a certain genre of extremely self-destructive old man would go to the ferry terminal to drink.
Oh, man.
From like 7
I love to
a.m.
watch the ships come in.
Oh, fuck.
So that's but then they weren't in the street, they were in the ferry terminal.
That is charged.
But that's dedication.
That's a lot.
There are guys in Harlow, my hometown, who hang out outside what used to be a Yates's wine lodge, and is now just called the Clock Tower pub or something. It's like the Yates's is like a downgrade from Weatherspoons. It's like, what if Weatherspoons, but you couldn't get a curry?
I've been tricked by a Yates's before.
Because you saw the words wine and
I
lodge.
saw wine.
Yeah.
And I was like,
those are them's fancy words. I like those words.
A darling little wine bar.
Any chain
seems like
Britain
the
that-
place for me.
Ski lodge, wine lodge.
Yeah.
This is working
It's
for
a
me.
ski in, ski out Yates's wine lodge in a concrete new town.
A ski through, like a drive through.
It's dry
Just
slope all the way around.
catching a bottle of wine as you
There
ski
used to
through.
be a fucking dry slope ski thing in Harlow, which towered over the entire town. Insane. It obviously went bankrupt and shut down, but it was there for like most
They
of my
still have
childhood.
one in Milton
I'm planning on
Keynes.
going
Yeah.
to it.
The Milton Keynes one?
I've never snowboarded
That's an
before.
actual snow. Like
Yeah.
they have snow. This was like you ski down ropes, like a dry slope.
Down ropes.
Yeah, like when you go to a dry slope, it's like a lattice of ropes that they've laid down a hillside. So it's kind of so the skis will slide over it. It's like skiing down a big net, kind of.
Right.
But it's like on the ground. Yeah, that's a dry. But no one really has dry slopes anymore because they've invented indoor snow slopes.
Right.
But yeah, and so I think it shut down when I was about 5, but it was still there, but just derelict until I was about 15. And it was like
Looming
the
tower.
main landmark of the
How
town,
would
the
you
disused
reuse-
dry slope skiing
Such a
center.
Springfield fucking...
It
Yeah.
really is. Because it's like, why did anyone ever think this would be a good idea?
That's bizarre.
Probably cocaine, I imagine.
Maybe. But anyway, the main point is
Whimsy.
there are these guys who always drink in the town square, like near the Yateses, but they're not buying booze from the Yateses. They're sat on like the ping pong table, which is bafflingly in the town square. And aspirational for Harlow. No one's playing ping pong. And then, so every time I walk through there, which is not often, they're always there, like drinking tins. But they're not homeless. They're just alcoholics. You know, it's like that kind of, to put it on your taxonomy. And then it was like the day before Christmas or 2 days before Christmas, I was walking through there, and they're still there drinking tins, but they're all wearing Santa hats. Like as though their internal HR had been like, it's the work Christmas party.
Or if they'd gone, guys, we're getting a lot of bad press as street drinking alcoholics, and just to lighten the mood, show the public that we're a laugh.
Yeah.
The problem with that
New
is
initiative.
It absolutely does not lighten the mood, though.
In a movie, that would be used to show the passing of time.
Yeah. Really, really tight dad who's like, well, taking you to meet Santa is a bit expensive, but you can meet this man.
But you could. What if you could
And
meet?
then the gift from Santa is just like a special brew.
Yeah.
But
What
it's
if you
sort of
could
a
meet
mostly empty
11?
one?
Yeah, don't worry about meeting one old man with a beard who smells of alcohol. What if you could meet 11 old men with beards who smelled like booze?
Yeah, Santa is actually a collective.
Yeah.
That's my hall pass, but them in their entirety.
The entire Santa collection.
Sequentially or at the same time?
One of the entrances is just the alcoholics at the ping pong table. Brackets general.
Making your hall
That's why you
Whoever
check the
happens
hall
to be
pass
there
list.
at the time.
Yeah.
That's
You
how
go
you
hang
check.
out.
You could try to sort of game it, like wishing for more wishes by like arranging to meet different men at the ping pong table. Be
Yeah.
like,
But they've also
It's
got to
like-
be drinking.
he's had a beer, he's had a special brew, he's at the ping pong table outside the Yates's Wine Lodge at Arlo.
It's like
I'm
a
afraid-
tax
yeah.
loophole. Like,
Yeah.
technically,
Yeah, like the Irish sandwich or the Dutch sandwich or the Irish special.
What's the Dutch sandwich or the Irish special?
There are ways of incorporating your company in Ireland or the Netherlands, but then putting all of your profits through other. It's an actual thing.
Like what Facebook and Google do in Ireland. Yeah.
Yes.
Here's I have another whole pass thought now that
All right.
we've brought the tramps into it. Or
Okay.
rather, alcoholics, not tramps.
yeah.
Sorry, the double Irish Dutch sandwich is what it's called.
Sexy.
It would be very funny, like a group of both alcoholics and tramps mutually finding this offensive. So they're like, well, hang on, we're tramps, but we're not alcoholics. And they're like, hang on, we're alcoholics, but we're not tramps.
Can happen these days.
Yeah. More
He's-
fodder for the Edinburgh show.
Yeah.
Alcoholics
versus tramps.
Alcohol instead of like War of the Sexes
That's
stuff.
an Amazon Prime movie.
Yeah.
Like a
Alcoholics
sort of
versus
escape
tramps.
from New York type thing.
I'd watch that.
This.
The only other lookalike I've been sent was sent to me by a guy called Emil, who I work with at Absolute Radio, who sent me a German toothpaste advert, and I look like the fake dentist. That's my only other celebrity.
Housewives hate you.
They
Okay, and I say this with
Yeah.
love. If you were my dentist, I'd be unsettled.
Me?
Yes.
I don't think I have
Well,
dentist
because I
vibes.
know he has no qualifications.
But
Hey, wait,
I am.
you're stand-up comedian Pierre Novelli. You look like something
Wanna
of an
fuck?
you look more like an Andrew than a dentist.
Telling your dentist he's on your hall pass list.
to be fair, I am South African, which is a good start when it comes to dentistry and veterinary medicine in the UK.
Yeah.
A lot of South African dentists and vets around, and chiropractors, and all the kind of doctor-adjacent things.
There are no use on an airplane.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. This dog is sick, and it's supposed to be flying the plane. And then the vet can come and
Well, that
resuscitate the dog pilot. Take his cute little uniform off. I'm going to have to do surgery on this
There was a
dog
woman
Well,
pilot.
it took about an hour, but we finally got Nate. And now the people will know.
We got Nate. It all took was a sick dog pilot.
That's right. There was a woman who was a pediatrician who was South African who moved to the UK
There
to
we
like a
go.
small town in Wales in 2000, and she got the people like graffitied like pedo on her house because she'd gone to the local pub and introduced herself to people and introduced herself in a South African accent as a pediatrician, and people had misunderstood what she meant.
What she
Yeah.
thought it was like an I'm legally required to tell you.
Which is so funny because just like imagining it from their perspective, just being like, she's quite brazen, isn't she? You know, sort of. Well, hang on a minute. What do you mean? Well, I'm employed at the hospital, and just like what? And I work mostly with children. My God.
The NHS is paying the foreign pedos.
They're importing them. We've not even got our own natural pedos to use.
Pedotrician, like an electrician for pedophiles. Someone who fixes pedophiles and makes them even faster and stronger.
Rewires them.
Yeah. No, I can imagine that. I also saw a news story once about a South African. I don't know. I think he was a policeman in South Africa, and he'd moved to Wales, and they gave him some award for like most arrests because he'd taken this like insanely like, you know, Calvinist work ethic approach to being a rural Welsh policeman and just arrested like hundreds and hundreds of people because there's like the Germanic understanding of the law, whereas if in the UK there's a lot of like, Well, it's not an offense to be drunk in public unless you're also disorderly. Have a good stag do. Not in this guy's mind. You're technically over the yellow line. You're going in! Just causing chaos. So funny. The Terminator is now in fucking
Imagine being that fucked up on a stag do in rural Welsh and you're in rural Wales and you're being like rugby tackled by a man with a South African accent. You'd think you were having a stroke.
Huge Afrikaans guy in Victorian police uniform spear tackles you out of an alleyway.
You're nicked.
You're nicked, my old mucker. I've learned all the lingo here. Hello. What is all this?
Yeah. You're fucking pinched, mate. Yeah.
Let's be having you.
Yeah.
I like Afrikaans Bobby. As a character, it's good.
I spoke with a gentleman. He'd been involved in an altercation. And he said to myself that there was another lady present at the location of the interaction. I investigated further. I invited my colleague, PC Shufflesworth, and myself, went along to a local drinking establishment in the village.
But this is now modern cop.
Yeah.
I want old school, like with a whistle and a cape, like Jack the Ripper Bobby. Big, like mustache, like that, like cartoon shit.
Oh, yeah. Stepping on his hat to look over a fence.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Absolutely,
You mean like a cartoon police officer.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
Dixon of
problem
Dock
with people
Green.
these days, because no one wears a stovepipe hat. No one knows how to look over a fence anymore. It's a lost skill. The teenagers these days, none of them even know how to look over a fence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People can get away with anything behind a fence because the police can't see them. And New Labour took that away.
Yeah.
They also created a law that said the pedophiles all need to be augmented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the
I
Royals.
looked at my phone once.
Yeah.
I
Go on.
looked up.
This is what happens when you leave us unsupervised, mommy.
Yeah.